Loading.
Are you ready to get casual? Grab your favorite adult beverage or combustible plant and join us for our roundtable TTRPG discussion. Oh yeah, it's time for Casual Friday. And now, here are your hosts.
What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, but it's Friday, but it's also Wednesday, and it was almost Tuesday this week. I'm Ryan Joy. This is GM Jim beside me. We are talking about Critical Role, the new campaign, the Overture's over, even though it kind of went into overtime. Psych, the Overture wasn't over. But we got our first look at the soldiers table in this cold open. I'm excited about the ambition of it all. And now we're starting to see the logistics of it kick in, where it's like, oh, this is actually 3 campaigns running simultaneously that are going to intermix and intermingle eventually. He used the word kaleidoscope, which I thought was very poetic. That might have been in the cooldown. So to be here at the beginning of this process is very exciting. Pretty good episode, I would say. Jim, first thoughts? How you feeling about the whole experience so far?
Yeah, Campaign 4, Episode 5, the first non-Overture episode. Our first episode with the soldiers. We had Cadigan, Thimble, Tayor, why am I blanking? Wick and Tierney.
Wick and Tierney, because they don't belong there. They're clearly not soldiers.
Yeah, very strange. I thought this episode was better than the ones in the Overture. In some ways, it was more Brennan-y. In the Overture, I feel like Brennan didn't talk very much. Brennan talks more than Matt does, for sure. Like, Brennan explains things a lot more than Matt. Brennan eats up a lot more of the airtime than Matt Mercer does. And this felt more like a regular Brennan episode. Like, he talked a lot. He at length explained options that the players had, that kind of stuff. But before we recap the episode, do we want to talk about what Todd Kenrick learned yesterday?
Oh yes, the drama. You maybe have dove deeper into this than me. I kind of saw this and was like, yeah, of course, and it didn't register as a thing. But yeah, explain to the fine folks at home. Todd Kendrick, who has the inside lane. I wonder if he burnt bridges. Causing hype or what? I don't know.
Well, I don't know, because Todd Kenrick did a live stream yesterday and I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched the first part, but someone had brought to his attention, someone had discovered that on the Critical Role's website, on the Campaign 4 page, it had all of the characters from C4 and all of their classes and species and stuff like that, but none of their classes were 5e terms. They were all synonyms. Like Bolaire wasn't a warlock; he was listed as a pact mage. And did I write down some of the other ones? No, I didn't. But they all had similar. Cadigan wasn't a ranger; he was listed as a tracker.
Time guy.
Mr. Time Guy.
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm jumping ahead.
But that was all there yesterday, and then I went and looked today, and they're all gone. Now it doesn't list any class. It's just been removed. So I was wondering, I was Critical Role theory crafting a little bit, that maybe they had a 5e sanitized version of Campaign 4 that they might have gone with. And until, maybe when the OGL stuff was happening, they're like, maybe they were going to ask Perkins to come up with custom classes for these, or I don't know. I don't know why the names are different, but it sounded like they were avoiding using 5e terms in the descriptions, which was a little weird.
And you can imagine several different reasons why they would be doing something like that. There was a moment in the very first episode where Travis was like, I do lay on hands. Wait, no, not lay on hands. And everyone was like, oh, they're trying to not do SRD stuff, or he's not really a paladin or something. And then the next episode he did lay on hands. So it wasn't that. But it's very easy to forget that these aren't live streams anymore. This wasn't cooked up last week. The amount of world building and lore and just the sheer logistics and the set. Like, it's clear that they've been working on this for a long time, and it has been a very volatile time to be making a flagship TTRPG product in this space. I am sure I am on record a bunch of times on the internet on this very show saying like they would be stupid not to run Daggerheart. I did not account for the fact that by the time they were like making this, Daggerheart was not stress tested, was not out there in the world yet. They didn't know if it was going to be successful or a total bomb. So like that would have been a much bigger risk doing that blindly. And that goes to further say that they were making these decisions and who knows, writing up these character descriptions maybe before they had two out of three of like the founding fathers of 5e on the payroll. So I still think maybe that had some influence or at least like reassurance for them to continue on this core D&D path. But who knows? They've got Perkins in there. They got source book is coming. It looks like we've already seen some custom spells. We're probably looking at custom subclasses. There's a lot we still don't know. I was kind of hoping we would actually learn a little bit more, perhaps in a tussle at this soldiers table this week. But yeah, there's a lot of good reasons for them to kind of customize their own vocabulary here. What makes me more interested in this story actually is the fact that they changed it today. That to me is kind of like almost an admission that something interesting is happening.
Yeah, maybe it's probably not sinister. It's probably just some kind of placeholder text. Maybe they who knows, maybe these characters were developed many months ago and they were both Daggerheart and 5e versions of both developed. Who knows? There was one other piece of news I wanted to mention before we recap the episode. Robbie Damon and a bunch of cast members did a series of interviews on comicbook.com, and Robbie Damon said that the way they rolled for stats was 5d6 dropped the lowest 2.
I feel like we knew that.
Well, this happened. This interview was a couple weeks ago. We haven't done the show since then. And Robbie said that he did 4d6 and dropped the lowest 1, and that they were all doing it on a stream with each other so they could see the dice rolls. Which, I mean, I guess they just all rolled well. That just happens sometimes.
These characters are OP, are cooked. 5d6 drop the lowest is absurd. Good on him for doing 4d6 drop the lowest. OSR grognards are yelling about it, but like that's acceptable. That's fine. It occurred to me actually, like late at night or in the shower, that we have heard them be encouraged to have backup characters several times. So if I'm rolling for stats and I'm making 2 characters, the first one I play is probably going to be the better one too. So that is also going to like tilt the statistics here in favor of big numbers. Everybody listen to Twin Steel, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell.
Do all the things.
All of the things. Ordinary Orange Cat and Aiken Drummer here, making some good points, which we will get to soon. Yeah. Also, they have had experiences with their own systems that did not go so well. So for them to do Daggerheart without the data, campaign 1 was Pathfinder and became D&D. So there's a chance a year or 2 down the road where they're like, okay, it's Daggerheart now. Maybe all of the characters die. Maybe it's a full wipe. And they're like, all right, new characters, new system. Anything's possible. This is D&D, baby.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about that stuff later. We need to recap the episode because we're going to be here for 3 hours. In the cold open, we start with the soldiers riding to pursue Casimir to trying to claim a deed to a stronghold. Brennan sort of reintroduces each character by asking them a question about their purpose. And then the only other thing I wrote about the cold open was I like when Cadigan went full ranger and showed them how to flip the tops of their water skins open to catch the rainwater. I was like, ranger shit. I love it.
I love ranger shit. I love overland travel. Like I think the back half of this episode kind of exemplifies by like this is kind of my favorite form of play because you can do things that don't happen in town or in the dungeon. The world feels so much more open and real, and you have significant choices being made. I think it's actually in the cold open where they get to a point where they're like, okay, we're not taking this path. And r- those decisions of just like, all right, do you go north? Do you go east? The rest of the campaign is going to continue on from that first choice, from that input. You're going to experience different things. Do you take the left door or the right door in the dungeon? It's a lot easier to like, all right, let's go see what was in that right door. Whereas, do you go over the mountains or through the forest or take the King's Road? Super interesting to me. That always gets my juices flowing. We had, I want to say we have a placeholder opener. It's good, right? Like it's aesthetically good. It is production wise good. It's like thematic, but it's not. We don't see the characters necessarily. We don't get a lot of the story. It's not the cast singing a custom song. So in my mind, this new opening is also a placeholder opening.
I
Have
didn't
we
love
done that
it.
in the past? I didn't. I mean, it's fine, but I want it to be cooler,
They have changed the opener before.
right? Like Thursday Night is such a bop that it's hard to second album sometimes doesn't come through the same way.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't love it, but I usually skip the open anyway. Well, after the cold open and the credits and stuff, we get back to the Seekers plus the Schemers back in Dolmaki are at the Loy home. Um, Brennan first, it sounds like he's breaking bad news to Alex, tells him Octus no longer feels hungry, tired, he won't age, can't eat, can't drink. Um, then there was something I didn't quite understand. There was a DC 25 Arcana check. It was something about the melted wax was supposed to be destroyed. Like were they saying that the Nightstone was supposed to be destroyed during this process?
Basically, yes, or transformed, turned into something else. Like it was part of a ritual. I think, and this is just Ryan's speculation. The Daconuses are trying to burst the barriers between life and death and open up the. It's not the Shadowfell. It's like the Cerberus Fields or something. It's not the Shadowfell, but it might as well be. I think somehow by replacing Octus's heart with the Stone of Night Song, which is this celestial uh, carrier of dead souls between the worlds through the dark forest to the goddess of life who is now dead, which is ironic. By using that thing's power and having Octus like ferry it essentially into death, and then they were going to do something to him. They were going to double kill him. I don't know. I think that was the Dakona's plan, was to just like totally open the gates to flood this world with their undead hordes, minions, whatever.
And
And that plan
Brennan,
got screwed up.
yeah, Brennan said, his quote was, "You guys hijacked a machine in planned use for years at the last possible minute."
You landed a tank on a roof.
And we also learned there that Octus is now permanently bound to the stone, which this gives Valus motivation to stay close to him and keep him quote unquote alive. You know, she wants the stone, but they're forever joined. She's like becomes his guardian now.
Yeah,
And at
her
first she said,
motivation feels
oh,
it feels like tenuous to me, but sometimes you have to kind of squint and ignore that, right? Like you need some level of buy-in. And if you're this like
"Uh-oh,
exotic,
Brad knows we're here.
oh god,
Shit,
dude,
we gotta go."
ah! um,
It means nothing, Brad.
Well, I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, if you're going to be this like ethereal creature that's been around for thousands and thousands of years, it's a little harder to develop connections, maybe. So I'll
Yeah.
give it like, oh, your dead fox thing is interesting and cute and fascinating, and now you did magic with this thing that I thought was dead, and you're undead, and I'm with you to figure out what's going on. Um,
Yeah. Then Valus, she said that she wants to hold the stone, which I don't think is possible because it's part of him, right?
Now what's up for
Um,
grabs? He went to like inspect it, and Brennan's like, okay, roll insight and a wisdom save, and he rolled like a 2 and a 20 or something, and he's like, you don't figure out anything other than you shouldn't mess with this.
yeah.
Like something stops you from like no touchy, don't poke this. So yeah, actually, Marisha asked, is this like would I know? Is this like a phylactery, which is a bad word now in D&D circles, which I find silly because it's a Greek word, whatever. Um, it isn't the thing that they think it is, but I guess better to err on the side of caution, whatever. She's like, is this due to Lich? And Brennan's like, kinda, but no, not really. This is another thing, and it's weird, and it's kind of an accident because you guys did some miraculous stuff in the middle of some very heavy other stuff, and a series of coincidences got you to this point. So he's alive because of it, but it ain't his Horcrux.
Yeah, Brennan seemed to imply that Octus was the first and only sentient undead in
Hmm.
this world. Maybe I misheard that, but he sort of implied that like there aren't thinking undead out there, so you are a brand new thing.
Resurrection
Um
hasn't happened since the gods died, and it
yeah.
still kind of hasn't because you're not alive right now. It ain't a full resurrection, but it's the closest thing that's happened in 70 years.
So while Julian is off in the corner with leaning against the wall with one foot flat against the wall and with his arms crossed and a cigarette that's like mostly ash hanging out of his mouth. When he's over there scoffing, Azuna goes over to Julian and tries to make an effort to earn his trust. And I love Luis. He tries really hard to give Matt reasons to be less antagonistic.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he says, right now, trust has to be a choice and the earning of it will follow. And
He's like, "What's
he
your
admits,
name?"
yeah, Matt
Brilliant.
really does not make it easy on him. Azuna says, I was on the opposite side of you from the Falconers War, but like if you just don't kill us, whenever the past comes to find you, I will speak the story you choose to tell. You choose to tell, and Matt is still like, get out of here, buddy. Matt's really making it hard.
There was so there's gonna have the Mercer effect is now something else entirely, and we're gonna have to talk about it soon. Because there's going to be a lot of people walking into a lot of game stores emulating this behavior, and it's going to be a problem. The
No, I
uh,
refuse to adventure with you. All right,
yeah,
I guess we'll see you then.
hey everybody, we made a one shot doing a bit like that, which is great. It's a great one page RPG. We had a ton of fun with it. You should check it out. It's on this channel, Landlocked Warlocks. But it's awful. It couldn't go for longer than 2 hours. It's unsustainable. And it was
Yeah,
also the hardest thing Jim's ever done, I think, as a DM. Um,
Elf with the 10-page backstory. That's what that was
Elf
called.
with a 10-page backstory. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. I it seemed, I don't know if I read into it or it was there, but it seemed that it was the subtext, it was insinuated that there is more to the story of what happened when Julian bested Thiazi, ending the Falconers Rebellion. Like maybe Thiazi, I don't know. I don't know what, but it seemed like by Zune being like, I was there, I know what's up, and like I'll back you up whatever you say happened, implying that like the story is not the truth of what he saw. Um, so that's interesting. We'll figure out what that means in 6 months, maybe, because they now part ways.
Hmm. Then after that, Julian's still not biting. Then back in inside, Murray realizes it's not a coincidence. All these celestial and death-related objects are coming into their lives right now, which we kind of already knew, but Murray now knows that. Octus remembers from when he was in the space between. He remembers Takona's flags and a lone orcish warrior, the banner of the Barrow Guard, which they thought maybe Allogar, which is Hal and Taisha's kid, right?
Yes, we still don't know exactly what the Barrow Guard are guarding or guarding against, or we don't know quite what's going on there. But Julian was responsible for like training up a lot of these guys, and their son is over there and is ostensibly probably the person in the vision. So Taisha's like, we should go to there.
Yeah, the Barrow Guard's interesting. I'm picturing like the Night's Watch. There's got to be some kind of plot like that. Some kind of plot like the thing that's really going on. You know, there's the brilliance of A Song on Ice and Fire is not who gets to sit on the throne. It's the brilliance is that that's not actually what's important. What's important is the zombie army coming down from the north, and nobody believes that that's what's important. That's what makes that so good.
You can't prove this is not an allegory.
Remember that. Then Julian says, "Wherever you go, Octus, I will go. ... to kill your family." We don't have to be friends, but I'm stuck to you. And now Julian has his motivation.
You know what I thought was great? He says, you have two shadows now. So Octus has two shadows, and one of his shadows, Julian, also has two shadows. Because we still
That's
don't
true.
know what's up with that curse from spitting on Thiazi's all about.
Yeah.
But Bolaire saw it too? Somebody saw it. I think it was Bolaire, like recognized it. So Octus has three shadows? Four shadows? It's been a long time since I did, like, is that the transitive property? I forget my logic here. Also, that boy, just like that pointed. Chat's talking about how, like, Matt's the better voice actor. Brennan's maybe. Dude delivers. Like, dude should write. Dude delivers gems. Like, there are quotes, but, like, Matt, one word, like, boy. Was like, whoa, okay, that is that character perfectly encapsulated in a single syllable. Good job.
You know, speaking of the difference, I was thinking about that when I was watching the episode, how Matt's a VO actor and Brennan is not. And one thing I've noticed about Matt Mercer, almost never says or almost never. It's extremely rare that he would say or he would have to be in like great distress and confusion to say Brennan, constantly. And you know what? It doesn't bother me at all. You think it would. I like that Matt doesn't say or I really like that. Brennan using it doesn't bother me. Just makes him feel like a real person.
Well, that's nice to hear, because as someone who says constantly, even though I've been trying not to for I don't know how many years have I been talking on YouTube now. See right there. It happens. Maybe it's a New York thing. I don't know. I'm not from exactly where he's from, but I'm from pretty close to where he's from. So who knows? He also repeats words. I will say, how do you want to do this at my table? And lately I have found myself going, incredible, kind of to like buy time. It's almost like the sound of me processing and loading the next scene. And I've totally lifted that from Bleem and didn't even decide to.
There was a YouTube video about Brennan's use of that specific word, about his use of the word incredible. It's how he uses it as a transition word to take the ownership of the scene back or something. Valus tries to grab the stone. Then Bolaire commands her silence and says, "Swear you will not abandon Octus." So now everybody is sort of gathering around the need to protect and help Octus. Lady Ernessa gets involved and says, foil whatever your family's plans are. And then said she's going to flee east to the Golden Orchard. I thought at first it meant that she was going separately, but she's saying like, we're all going to go out to the Golden Orchard, which is her family's ancestral lands, because she wants to see if they all done got slaughtered too.
Yes, and that I wish I had a map. I love a good map. Waiting for that reveal. Because I was confused about we're heading east to this pass where the Barrow Guard are, and presumably the Taconis center of power is.
The
Maybe
Dalmar Pass,
Dalmar Pass. It's
Dalamar,
written
Dalmavar. It's got a Dal and a Var or a Mar in there or
Dalmar. You
something.
know that little piece that's like not that's like Virginia, Delaware, like Delmarva. It's that little spit of land that sticks off into the Atlantic there by the well, the Outer Banks, I guess.
Yeah, we keep
Virginia
hearing
Beach.
about what happened at this pass. I mean, or that something happened at this pass. We don't really know what, I think, other than essentially like caravans full of House Royce and House
That's
Loy.
right.
Their people were stopped and killed or something.
Something, yeah. Royce caravan like didn't show up, and they were going through that pass. So that makes sense actually that they are from that way. So that is where our seekers are heading. Taisha and hold please loading. Octus, who died a virgin. That was also another
Yeah.
great little throwaway.
Oh yeah.
As- um and Valus and Lady Royce, which is interesting. They have their own
DMPC.
DMPC companion rocking
She's at
along.
least fifth level. She cast haste.
She did some stuff, and it felt like she was kind of there to give Julian a reason to be there.
Right.
And Julian's like, "No, I'm following Octus because you're going to lead me to the. Your daddy killed my daddy. Now I'm going to kill your daddy." And Octus is like, "All right, cool, fine with me. This is all very weird." Oh, and the moment where he's talking to Murray, and he's like, "Look, I'm going to take notes. You're another wizard. We can like, you're going to help me figure this out." And she's like, "Yeah, you have a thesis too." And he goes, "No, I fucking don't." And that was clearly bleed. That was college trauma bubbling to the
Right.
surface.
Yeah.
Student loans are forever, even if you're an undead hollow one, you still gotta pay them.
Yeah. I hope Marisha gets the boob jokes out of her system soon. It's already gotten old.
It's getting old, but to be fair, Abria made one for her. So put her there. Like, what are you gonna hit her with a boob or something? So like, whatever. I mean, they're still in the overture.
Yeah,
So
I'm when I know of Abria, I have a very strong feeling that in grade school, Abria was frequently reseated around the classroom. You know what I mean? Because like depending on
exactly.
whoever she sits next to, she pulls into her little chaos bubble.
Yes, yes, yes. You were the yeah. If she was sitting next to you, you were gonna get in trouble. uh, yes,
So
perfect.
Azuna figures out how all the big houses are basically independently making moves at the same time to take over institutions. And then Azuna basically at the end of their scene tells us what the schemer plot is. He says, we're going to go turn the houses against each other because he's concluded they're not all in it together,
Hmm.
that there's still some space there. And that's basically like, that's the schemer. It sounds, at least their initial objective of what they're starting to do. Um, all right, because the seekers all step away. We don't know exactly. The seekers are going out to Lady Aranessa's
Delmarva.
place,
In the
Delmarva.
path.
Right,
Delmarva.
they're going out to the beach in Delmarva. And then I loved when the seekers step away, and you realize everyone who's left at the table are all the people who have a day job. Because Brendan's like, all of you have to be at work in 2 hours.
I've never. I've integrated characters' backstories before and had like them set in their hometown and they have relationships and like previous employment even. but it is such an interesting element that they are like, oh shit, gotta go to work.
Yeah,
That's a great way to address the long rest mechanic issue in fifth edition.
right. I've never done it in fantasy. I've done it in like modern role playing games, and that's kind of one of the things I like about like modern set RPGs. It's like, so you are, you're a superhero, but you still have to go to your accounting job Monday, Friday. How do you deal with that? That's kind of like what the point of Triangle Agency. It's like,
It's almost like a mini game. Like it's
yeah,
another. Whereas this, it feels like it's going to be central because like that, whatever I forget the noble person who's clearly got some sort of agenda who's like showed up at the museum in the middle of the night that is now coming back for Belair to tour around.
yeah. Hey,
Um,
hey, Brad, do you want to join us? I see you're still in chat. You could join us if you want.
I didn't approve that, by the way. I'm hosting, so it's my
Oh, I'm
call.
sorry.
But I'll add him to the
Oh
stage if he
man,
shows up.
I oh man, I talked out of school. I'm sorry.
We didn't. Brad, come hang out. I don't care if you watched it or not. Um, this confused me because okay, Andre. This confused me because I thought Murray was fired. So why would she need or even be allowed to roam the Pentrevel? Pentrevel? Wizard.
Penteverel.
Penteverel, the wizard school. Um, she thinks she's going to get fired. The person who said that was getting fired at the time. So Murray might not have a long time, but as far as I know, she has not been handed her pink slip yet, and she clearly has some sense of ownership and community there. So she wants to save her school. It's not just academia is different. It's
Mm,
not just like you're getting fired from your 9 to 5. She feels like this was a place where she could go as a poor kid and as a dwarf in this. We don't know exactly what that means in this society, but and get a chance and get an education. So she has a sense of ownership there, and I'm projecting, but I feel like she's going there to defend it, not even just to like figure stuff out and like work against the Daconuses, but like to defend her place from their influence, which I don't know. He seems pretty OP, but they also seem maybe like they have other things to distract them other than wizard school right now. So
yeah. And right before the break, Brennan tried to end their scene with a little upbeat of some hope with some bird stuff, showing a magpie birth on the windowsill.
bird stuff brought to you
Bird
by
stuff.
Brendan Lee Mulligan.
Brad cannot join us. Bring your client, man. That's cool. Have your client join in.
Yeah,
We'll all
that's
talk.
that's
Um,
cool. This is totally
this is
not
HIPAA
ADA.
compliant. It's fine.
HIPAA. Thank you.
It's all
Yes.
HIPAA compliant.
Okay. Talking. So speaking of Brendan Lee Mulligan, NPC bangers, greed destroys the world, but it also destroys itself. Damn, man. Like, did you like write that? Was that on a piece of paper, or did you just like? Is that coming off the cuff for you? I gotta know because
I don't. Have you ever seen the show Mythic Kitchen?
no,
Well,
no.
it's
What's
a
Mythic
it's a
Kitchen?
YouTube channel. They got millions of subs, but they do this series. It's called Your Last Meal, and it's like where they just have a guest on, and they say, well, you know, what if it was your last meal ever? What would you want to eat? And then they talk about death and stuff. And Brendan was on this week, and it's like
Oh,
an hour 10 of just just A+ philosophy beginning to end. They're talking about life and death and food, and it's like one of those things that you put on in the background, and then pretty soon you're like, I can't work, and you move it over to your main window. I have to actually watch this. Yeah, Brendan Lee Mulligan on Mythic Kitchen, amazing. You know, dude, he just spits wisdom, like an 80-year-old man. I mean, I think he's only about 35.
yeah, yeah. I would say chicken parm, probably like good chicken parm, not like pizza place chicken parm. I haven't thought about it for a while, but chicken parm is my answer right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably have to say sushi from Sushi Zanmai in Boulder. Sushi Zanmai, Boulder, Colorado. Pretty amazing. All right, so we get the break. Then after the break, we're back to the soldiers' table.
Yes.
And And then Brennan starts saying, "I'm just hearing from the judges," because before in the cold open, they Robbie rolled a survival check, and if you've ever played a ranger and rolled a bad survival check, it's like a knife in the chest. You know, like this is the thing I do. How can I roll bad at it? Um, so
And then
Brennan decides to allow guidance.
because he missed the DC by because
Uh,
Brendan will
one.
he'll announce the DC and he announces like the tiers of success, which I'm a huge fan of. You get this for this and this for this and this for this, so the players know what they're shooting for right
Yeah.
away. And yeah, he was off by one, but he had guidance. That was like the fade to black. He's like, I did have guidance. And then at the fade to black maybe it was the cooldown, or it was the end of the episode. He goes like, "How do you not just spam guidance all the time if you have it?" It's like, yeah, you gotta actively not. It's a problem.
Exactly, Robbie. Yep. Yeah. You
Yep.
are now discovering what we all discovered 2 days after they introduced that spell. Um, also,
Welcome to the party. Mhm.
I never seen Robbie sleeveless before. Dude has bigger guns than Travis. Did you know that?
Oh my God, Robbie's awakening something inside of me. I think it's Cadigan more than Robbie, but yeah, he's tatted up and he's swole. Um, to the cut of like, you can call me whatever you want, and they slide his character in. Like, oh God, he knows what he's doing.
That
Um,
was funny.
I will say the open. So clearly, like the tradition in Critical Role is you're ragging on the DM, trying to get them to break right as it goes in, which maybe we should start doing here at Landlocked Warlocks.
Mm.
Um, but Brendan's like, "How do you play this game? This book doesn't tell me what to say from moment to moment. Help!" And it's like, "Oh yeah, I read this 400-page book as a new DM and still don't have any understanding of how to actually do this thing." It's
Yeah,
the heart of this game in some ways.
the trying to break the DM right before coming back from break is a storied tradition at Critical Role, but they almost never let it slip. We almost never see any of them. The only ones I know was when Brennan told us once in AXU, he was like, "Welcome back. Sam just said taint." He kept on going. And I heard Lou Wilson, he got it in late. He said Wesley Snipes tax evasion. It was one of his to try to break. I don't know. These Hollywood types, they're weird. Anyway, so after coming back from break, Brennan is saying, all right, so you can go the Pilgrim's Road or the King's Highway. And Soft Boy Wick wants to take the highway. He's like, there will be inns and streams for us to bathe in. And we learn the world as a custom calendar.
Hmm.
I don't remember any of the names for things.
Smith's Day? I think it's Smith's Day.
Yes, that was the current day was Smith's Day. They go near an inn near the woods. They decide to leave their horses there, and that they're pretty much committed to going directly into the woods. They talk to some prisoner who's hanging in a cage. His name is Abelang, and he recognizes Thimble.
Brilliant. I love it. I loved it
Yeah,
so much.
this
First, like
guy.
the 2-minute conversation about gibbets, but this guy's like pretty chill up there. It's like, oh, I got a crust of bread. It's like, yeah, you do.
I'm gonna
Yes.
leave this up here so everyone can screenshot it, just to.
Uh,
um, this prisoner had robbed a caravan and stole a bunch of Candace and Creed objects. And then Wick, who's supposed to be undercover, says his name is Nick Halavar. I never really understood at any point during this episode what the plan was for Wick to be undercover, because they wanted him to be someone from his family, not him, but still talk. I didn't get that part at all. Like, I didn't understand the plan.
well, it was a moving target because he was so terrible at it. And then walking away, he was like, "That was great. We were feeding off of each other." Like he's so excited. It's just like this dumb little puppy. It's wonderful character. God. But yeah, his alias is Nick. Perfect.
Um,
Oh man.
they freed the guy who had not seen Sid, who's Teor's brother, but saw Takona's carriages on the King's Highway and saw crow feathers. So it kind of confirmed the Takonases. This pretty much confirmed that the Takonases got the stuff from the Crow Keepers. Crow Keepers stole the stuff Theozy was trying to get, sold it to somebody. We thought it was the Taconuses, and this pretty much implies further that it was them.
Because it was the stone. It was the thing that they shoved into. I always want to call him Octus. Was in Thiazi and Thimble's possession, and Kaz knocked him over and stole it.
Yeah.
Screwing up the escape plan in the process.
So then Abalong pointed them toward a lookout tower in the forest, and a gnome named Olbed, or Olbed, I don't remember. Then they go in the woods. Then we have this wild sequence where Thimble spots a fairy hiding in a dewdrop.
So good, a naiad.
So weird. Oh, wild. I loved it. And then we learn that this fairy is like a lookout. She's looking for other fairies to guide them towards some kind of fairy safe house.
Mm-hmm.
The fairy's name is Brookmeadow, and she grabs Thimble and is like, "Are you in danger? Because there's all these big people around." And she said she saw Sid the day before, but when Thimble tells everyone else, she decides not to give up Brookmeadow. So she says that she saw fur that was distressed, and the fur looked like it was heading north.
So good. Two key details that I derived a ton of pleasure from. One, she's 7 inches tall, so about twice your size. And two, she's a naiad. She's a water spirit, not a tree spirit. So she grabs Thimble, pulls her underwater, and goes and blows a bubble so she can breathe underwater and have a conversation with her hidden from the big people. So just like excellent little world building details. And again, the kind of stuff you can do out of doors. Overland travel, you can just like stumble into something like this. Find out about another place. Like I know some trees that'll kill these guys if you're in trouble. Nah, okay, cool, you're good. All right, Hawthorne's Glen. Hawthorne's Glade. They discover there's some sort of like fey safe haven because the doors to ferry are closed, and people like Thimble are stuck on the wrong side and need places to go.
It's also right around this scene, Sam debuts the campaign for drinking vessel.
Yes.
Which so is just a chalice. And in character, he said, "Oh, I just packed the one. It's just my road chalice." But it has a little message taped on the bottom, which I didn't have time to read.
Yummy angel blood.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. For those at home who have not seen it, it looked like one of the wrong Holy Grails.
Totally.
Indiana Jones. It was like an ornate goblet.
Yeah, it's definitely a rich kid's travel goblet.
Yeah.
And I note here, like, when Travis several times so far has involved Robbie, like, "Oh, I think Cadigan and I would probably be doing this." And I really, really like that, because Travis knows that Robbie is totally the kind of player who's a fade to the background kind of guy. You know, Homer going into the hedge. If you don't, like, if Robbie doesn't actively have a reason to contribute to a scene, he usually doesn't. And I really liked Travis pulling him in and reminding him, like, "You're a ranger, let's do outdoor stuff."
I think that Travis might be the best player at that table as far as like D&D players go. Other people are more commanding of the spotlight or whatever, but as far as like somebody you want sitting at your table, because Travis is the reason that it was Wick and not Sam who had he pulled that into the game. Travis is constantly yes-anding what other players are doing, or just paying attention and psyched about what they are doing. Like him getting pumped every time Ashley would rage for campaign 2 was incredible. Robbie got instantly naked. I'm telling you, man, the guy knows what he's doing. Oh man. All right. So we go to we kind of alighted over the fact that Thimble used Hal's bardic inspiration to kind of turn the tide of those survival checks, which were like kind of getting away from them, which felt early to me. When she did it, I was like, "Oh man, that was such like a poignant moment." It seemed like a throwaway thing, but Brennan kind of spelled out the stakes of like, yeah, you get lost and it gets dark. It is real bad in these
Yeah,
woods.
Brook Meadow told Thimble there are dead things in these woods, and it seemed like it was telegraphing combat, or at least, and we learned later in the cooldown that things could have gone very, very differently. Brennan is much more free with his information in the cooldown than Matt ever was.
Mm.
Brennan's like, well, if you guys had rolled this would have happened. And I'm like, whoa, why are you telling us this?
I love it. I do that. They tell you not to do it. I tell people not to do it. I still do it though. Can't help it. You gotta, there's plenty of secrets behind the screen. But there was also a lot of leaks in my game.
I try not to do it. I especially try not to do it if it's like, man, it would have been so cool if you'd done this other thing. If you guys had gone left there, whoa, that would have been super cool. I try not to do that. That just makes people feel like they missed out.
But that makes the world there's a right and a wrong way to do it. And I try to do it the right way. And I think him in the cooldown being like, yeah, you could have taken any road. Each road there's a whole page of stuff in each of these places. Like the fact that you're not experiencing everything makes your choices matter and makes the world real. And that's what I like in my game. That's why I try to fill up the world and you can go anywhere and move over land and you're not just in a dungeon or the village. And I think pulling back the curtain a little bit of like, yeah, this stuff is all, you can't do it all, but it's all here for you. So it's like worth coming. Like we could play this game again and have a completely different experience. That's the good stuff to me. It's not for some players can't handle that. I have completionists at my table who like years of playing with me still haven't quite internalized the fact that you can't do everything and trying to is folly. But
Yeah.
oh boy, I want the world to feel like it's the things on the map in the beginning of The Hobbit that you don't hear anything about that make that book so good, as well as the things you do learn. The fact that like this is awesome and is a percentage of what is actually here.
Yeah.
Lets my imagination start to fill other stuff. So I do like the fact that he's doing that of like, oh yeah, no, you could have taken the Pilgrim's path. Story wouldn't have progressed, but like, yeah, I have stuff up there.
So then after they head back out and barely passed a few survival checks that keep them out of immediate danger. They climb the ridge. Everyone makes a con save for exhaustion. Then they find the lookout tower with no writing on it. They see a bunch of fireworks that are soaked, that are wet, which you'll find out later is very, very sad. Some kind of alarm goes off. A gnome comes out and he invites them in and says, like, oh, so you've got a devil with you and you're not attacking me, so you guys are probably okay. When he invites them in, he says he's using the telescope to study the clouds to see if the Barrodell of the storm rack is getting worse. I have no idea what that means.
No, but it is. Turns out it's getting worse.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it's getting worse.
Doesn't sound good. It also seems to be the reason Delmakiar is Seattle. It's like there's some sort of like the storm rack. I don't know if it's just, like the mountain shadow effect pulling moisture out, or it seems like we killed the gods. Things are bad now. It's the river by the city. That's interesting. Is it the river by the city? I know there's a river running through the city. Or London. It's all the Thames.
Well, we don't. He was kind of vague about what exactly it is. If you're looking at the clouds, it's got to be some kind of weather-related thing, most likely. We don't know, but I'm sure we will find out.
Yes.
Then Thimble looks through the scope and she sees the King's Banner of Timony. Because in Dolmakiar, there's no king, there's no royalty. It's just the houses. But apparently we learned apparently that's not how it works everywhere. And that to the north, the land of Timony has a king, and the king's men, the hounds of Timony, were going south toward Dolmakiar, while carriages from Dolmakiar were going north. And they were like, described them as little ants that were moving slowly toward each other. And at some point they would connect. And it was funny then in the cooldown because, Laura was like, oh, we have to get over there to see what happens. And Brendan was like, no, not really, because that might be actually for another table. And they were like, what? You mean you're going to tell us things that aren't for us?
You might see arrows whizzing by you that are heading in someone else's direction. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, dude. Yes. Sweet. Again, it's oh yeah, there's things happening that have nothing to do with you here. That makes the world feel, oh boy, things are moving. I'm just a small piece of this story.
So then Travis becomes quite suspicious of the gnome, mostly because I think it seemed like Brendan couldn't remember the name of the daughters. The gnome had 3 daughters. He couldn't remember the names of the daughters off the top of his head, so he started searching his notes and was going, and Travis was like, this is weird. No, the DM just couldn't remember the name of his NPC. But so they were really playing it up like, everybody was expecting the gnome to all of a sudden turn around and meteor swarm or whatever. But he didn't. He goes up to light a fire at the top of the lookout tower, a beacon, which no one was really happy about, but nobody seemed interested in telling him he couldn't or stopping him. And then I wrote in my notes, Wolfric goes into the forest right before they have a long rest. And I thought this was going to be big. I thought my prediction, as soon as Robbie said Wolfric's going to go off on his own, I was like, oh, you just gave Brennan something to come back to at the very end of the episode to tease, right?
Yep.
The first thing I thought, Wolfric's going to be like, right as soon as the sun is starting to come up, Wolfric sees a horde of undead come over a hill or something, right? That didn't happen. But then they all have a long rest. During the middle of the night, Taor talks to the gnome. And I just feel like at any point I need Travis to say, don't quote the old magic to me, which he's so full on Aslan vibes,
Yes.
And we get the gnome's story. He misses his 3 daughters. They've been gone 15 years. He can't leave because just in case they come back. And he said they heard the cry, meaning they went off to join the Falconers Rebellion.
And he's got this banner that says welcome home that he's been keeping up for 15 years. He lights this little spotlight to illuminate it every night. Those fireworks have been out there for 15 years and are like rain sodden. They probably won't go off now. Oh, and it's just like, damn, dude, twist that knife. Oof.
Yeah, in the cooldown, he described it as a secret cry trap. He said something like, when did you realize you'd failed the DC on my secret crying trap? Failed to save. But that was very sad. But he made a good point in the cooldown where he said, if everyone in this world is a piece of shit, why would you want to save it? You have to see good. You have to see that there's something here worth saving. And it's this old gnome who's can't admit to himself that his daughters are probably dead, and he still holds out the hope that he's going to see them again someday. Then Cadigan in the morning, Cadigan says Brendan tells him this is the last safe place you're going to find. Then there was the thing about Cadigan throwing a doll.
Yes.
He was very cagey about it. Robbie did not want to talk about it. They asked him in the cooldown, they're like, what's up with that doll? And he wouldn't talk about it.
Keeping it close to his chest. But Cadigan goes up on the roof with one of these toys. And it's a wooden doll. And then he sees like termite damage. There's like rot. And he throws it over they're on like this ridge line. He throws it over the ridge line. And it's like, well, that's something. That's foreshadowing. That's backstory, character reveal right there. That's something.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll watch that with great interest.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing about the tragic story about Cadigan's daughter.
Mm.
Um, so then, Brennan, it didn't seem like the episode was over, but Sam, what? Go
Did
ahead.
the well we alighted over the tyranny as the sleep paralysis demon for a
Oh,
hot
right.
second. So good. You can't move. You can't move. You can't move. You can't move. Hey, good morning. So good. So
Yeah.
good. Just the two of them trying to like out weird each other is just a joy. Just a joy to watch. Oh my god.
Oh,
And then yes, Sam stretches and takes his shirt off.
and it's as Sam is wont to do, he finds embarrassing pictures of the dungeon master or other people at the table sometimes when he runs out of DM pictures. And he had a very up close, dramatic close up of Brennan, and Brennan was just like, "Oh, okay, session's over."
Yeah. Boom. Power
It
move.
was like full
It's like,
stop. I can't talk anymore after that. We're done. And so I think he may have been planning to come back around to Wolfric. He
that's
might have still
interesting.
been planning to come back around there, but he was like, saw that and he was like, brain broken. We gotta stop. Um, oh, there was one thing that I noticed. One thing I remembered. We don't know about the classes, right?
Mm.
Specifically, Sam. He's got a high chaw, low whiz, and he's a cleric. So what's up with that? Is he not a cleric? Is he a chaw cleric? Is he just a bad cleric? I don't know, but he did cast enhance ability. Or that it was implied because they all had disadvantage on the con saves, and he goes, I'm gonna get rid of mine,
Yeah.
which is probably
Yeah.
enhance ability, right?
Or luck. Like heroic humans have heroic inspiration and it's
Oh,
essentially luck points now. But I
yeah,
did the
you're
same
right.
I did the same like mental math of like what did he do just there?
It could have just been
Um
an inspiration point.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it because he has a history like he played a halfling and was like, I'm not gonna reroll ones, that's stupid. Which, yes, good for him. Love that in a player. Um, so I imagine there was some conversation. There was also this whole inside joke thing, or maybe it's from some episode of Critical Role or Dimension 20 I haven't seen, but Taliesin asks Brendan a loaded question, which is, are we going to stick to the words in the command spell, or do we have freedom to say more? Because it used to be a little more open ended. They kind of tightened the reins on command in the 2024 edition. And Brendan's like, yeah, as long as the character understands the thing you're saying. And they were all like, crumb or something. I don't know what they were saying, but I was like, is this from some movie I don't know? Or like,
I
what?
missed that.
Okay, yeah, I didn't understand it, and like went looking a little bit. It's like also, so in my tiny bit of research because I like to form my own opinions before I let Reddit inform them. A lot of people complaining about the sound of Brennan's voice. Are you experiencing that? Are you having difficulty like hearing him? I've been listening to him for a while, so I don't catch it. But a lot of people are like, they gotta fix the audio, and I'm like, I don't.
Um,
And
well,
I'm an
I've
old man.
noticed
I use subtitles. I don't or closed caption.
I use captions too, but um, well, I noticed in the episode 2 when they had the combat,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't seem to have his mics calibrated right for him to stand up. Because like you could hear him just fine
Oh,
when he's sitting, but when he stood up, he was a little low. Or
interesting.
sometimes
Okay.
he'll there were sometimes he like leaned over to get minis or something in one direction. He was still talking.
Okay.
I didn't think it was a big deal. It didn't really stick out to me.
Yeah, it was just multiple people, and I was like, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Chat, same thing. Multiple comments, never had any issues.
Oh, there was one thing, one other thing I wanted to note in the cooldown. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said like, "Oh, I wish I could be over at that table. They sound like they're gonna go do something really cool." And Brendan goes, "You guys can switch tables if you want." And I was like, "What?" They're just gonna switch tables? Like, aren't they gonna have like artwork that shows the tables together? I don't know. That was weird. I
I,
was not expecting that.
I mean, I think we're going to see convergent story beats eventually, right? Like I do think Saish is coming home. I do think Wix is coming home, right? I think like we're gonna end up back into Makyar and probably like maybe not at the same time, but I went into this thinking if we're doing it West Marches style, we're gonna see some cross pollination. What I'm curious about is going forward. So another thing I saw in internet commentary was like people were upset that this wasn't a soldiers episode. They were looking forward to just the soldiers, and well, why was it the other stuff? And I was like, you've never run a D&D campaign if you're not like, oh man, an extra 2 hours of content here that we didn't get to. Like, yeah, that happens all the time, guys. Relax. But is that the plan going forward? Where like soldiers. Like I didn't look at like the schedule or whatever on the beacon thing, but like, are we gonna get 3 to 4 hours of soldiers next week, or are we going to get a little of this guy, a little of that guy, a little of this guy, a little of that guy? Because like, if it's one thing for a while, then it could be like 3 weeks, a month between whatever secret episodes. Like it's gonna make it a little bit harder, I think, to follow the plot or be invested. And I'm ready to be proven wrong because these are like these are 2 feature-length films back to back. So it is a lot of content.
I don't know. As far as I know, the regular schedule is the same as it always was, and I think probably spending a month with each one is better than week on, week off. You know, like soldiers, then schemers, then. Because I think if we're just getting one Schemers episode a month, is that harder to follow than a month of Schemers episodes and then no Schemers at all for 2 more months?
I don't know. Again, this really excites me. They're taking a big swing. This is like a new, I don't know. It's easy for me to get like super excited and like oversell it, but this is a new kind of artistic endeavor in a way that we really haven't seen something like this on this scale with this value before. Like maybe there's actual plays out there running West March style, multiple tables in one big storyline. I think this is super ambitious in the way that like the Marvel universe is ambitious. I think they're gonna stop when they should, unlike Marvel. But it's interesting. I don't know. It seems like they're taking risks by going into the unknown, and I'm rooting for them to pull it off, but I'm also ready for it to be like, I don't know, some missteps. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I've liked what I've seen so far. I like that the overture's over. It was a little frenetic. There were too many people at the table, too much going on. I like focusing on the smaller story. I'm very excited for the soldiers table. The schemers table. Okay, wait. The schemers are the people with jobs, right?
Schemers are in town. Yeah, it seems like that's like the social machinations. Is like the scheme is to get the houses against each other or whatever, secure power. So that's the drama kids. They like Taliesin called them that, and in the cool down, Robbie was like, "Oh, Louise is like fish out of water over there," which he brings the drama. Like from what I've seen in Calamity, like he brought high drama, but like maybe it's a different flavor. I don't know. Apparently they played together for a long time that we haven't witnessed on camera.
I don't know. I think that's probably the table I'm the least interested in, though. The schemers. I the soldiers. I prefer the soldiers and the seekers. The whole thing about, you see, because I don't know, the soldiers. That's just the highest percentage of my favorite players is at that table. I think.
Agreed.
The soldiers and the seekers. I'm really hooked into that story. All this stuff with Octus, the land between life and death, all that stuff is. I am invested. I want to know. Putting the houses against each other, sure, that's fine, but it doesn't really it doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me in the way that the other tables do. I'll probably still watch it.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Possible counterpoint to that.
Okay.
I mean, one I agree with. Based on players, soldiers, hands down. um, we just saw the soldiers table start. I think the next time we see the Seekers, it's going to be a different kind of episode. It feels like the Schemers are just going to be a continuation of the Overture because they're not leaving, but in a sense, their adventure also hasn't started. So we don't know 100% what that's going to be like. Is it like, oh man, got to get back to the bursar's office and like pick up my delivery at the theater in the round or whatever? And like, yeah, that's not. Town days are my least favorite days. Like I'm not running shopping episodes on my table all the time. But I don't know, man. I really like Murray as a character concept. I'm ready for Taliesin to get too weird and edgy for me, but like I like what he's bringing to the table so far. Um, Liam is great. Liam is great. Like he rolls up with monologues and like will wait months to deliver them because he will never shoehorn in his moment.
Yeah.
So there's some like heavy hitters there. But again, I it seems like we know what they're doing because we've been doing it the whole time, but I could see them making a turn
Mm.
the next time we see them.
Yeah, I'm being harsh. The schemers table could be very, very fun. It's probably the potential with the most heisty kind of table. You know, if they get involved in espionage and spy stuff, that could be pretty fun if they're going on missions like Murray has to go to a conference, meanwhile the other and distract people, meanwhile the other three are also at the conference inserting arcane surveillance devices somewhere. You know, it could be fun. It could be high tension and it can be fun, not just Downton Abbey, but with swords.
I mean, they probably have the most spell slots at that table too,
Mm.
which is interesting, right? Like, that just but the D&D math there of like hijinks, but it could also be boring. It's funny. I share this like need in entertainment to like pick favorites and therefore someone to root against. Like when we watch freaking Great British Bake Off, I'm like, all right, who's gonna go here, right? The most wholesome, lovely people. I'm just like, I need someone to root against. Someone's got to be my least favorite. I don't know what that is. Did America do that to me? Is that a boy thing? I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's in me. It's like, yeah, you're my favorite. You guys, yeah, clearly not. So I'm with you. I don't know about the Abria Matt dynamic could go flat on me quick. Like the antagonism there is a interesting starting point for a story. Ashley's another person who will like fade into the background unless someone's pulling her forward a little bit. Super interesting character. Feels like we know the least about in some ways. So we'll see. I mean, if Brennan has a DNPC in that party, maybe that's the dark horse for my favorite then. But
So here's my prediction for Julian and Taisha. Within 10 episodes, not by episode 15, I mean within 10 Schemers episodes, they're gonna hook up. Their characters will have a long rest hookup, and it'll be a thing. It'll be like a tense source of tension in the group.
You heard it here.
Mark my words.
All right. Next week, either we're going to do this again or full ship episode. We're just going to talk about who should smush. Any other predictions before I wrap this up?
No, I really feel like I can drop the mic on that one.
Yeah.
Nostradamus strikes again.
Nostradamus. Oh my God. Is that a thing? You need to go. All right, everybody. I'm going to stop this episode because Jim has to go make a short. That's going to take over the internet. We love you all. Thanks to you for hanging out, for commenting, chat. We're reading you the whole time, even if we're not interacting, because it's hard to do this sometimes.
We love you, chat.
Love you, chat. Love everybody in the future listening to this while we're in the past. Thank you. Good night. See you Friday.
Bye bye.